Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today, I was going to talk to you about something I've been seeing a lot lately on the internet, and I think it's because of my age. I've been seeing a lot of these type videos about people quitting work and pretty much not knowing what to do with themselves because they don't have children at home anymore, and that was their identity and such. But the Bible tells us what we should need to do when we don't have children home anymore. And of course, back then, the women didn't really, there wasn't a lot of women working outside the home. So they didn't identify as a doctor or lawyer or, teacher or anything like that. Or what I always was, a librarian or worked for retail or insurance agency. I never really identified myself as an insurance. So what do you do? And the first thing people think of is to say their job. And years ago, I'd probably say in my 30s, I'm a wife and I'm a housewife. I'm a homemaker. It was homemaker, and then I switched to housewife because there's nothing wrong with being a housewife. I love taking care of my house. I don't have anything fancy. You can see in the backdrop. I have just a normal 1,300 square foot house in Louisiana. I don't have, I still have brown paneling in my den. I still have the original carpet in the bedrooms. We've replaced the floor, but I've just never needed a lot of things like that. I mean, I would clean it. I would, keep it clean. And we didn't like tear up a lot of stuff. So I didn't really ever need things like that. And I still don't, because thankfully I got in the Word a lot more in my late 20s and 30s. And God directed me that my life was meant to be home. So I wanted to homeschool my children. So by the time before I was 30, we got our house, and I still live in my starter home, which is across the street from where I grew up, my parents. I cared for my mom for a lot of years, and now I'm looking after my dad. And this is what I want to do. And I don't, anything you want to do with your parents or however, that's up to you. But right now, he's able to still live at his house, and I can just go back and forth and see to him and take him meals and take him to doctors and do whatever he needs. And I quit work, my part-time job, so that I could do that because it was getting to where it was getting me down physically. And so you do have to take care of yourself. As a woman, if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of them. So I don't have children here anymore, but I have my husband. He's still working. He's full retirement age, and he's still having to work full time. That tells you how we still need to work. I didn't need to quit my job. But my priorities was with my dad. And so that's just what I chose to do. But anyway, today's lesson, not really lesson, just some notes I dropped down because I've seen so many things about selfish ambition, about not wanting to take care of people anymore, see after people anymore. As a Christian, if I'm not mistaken, Jesus was the biggest servant of all. He even said he came to earth to serve and not to be served. So I don't know really why that's such an issue, especially among the Christian women out there and the Christian men out there. But this is mainly directed to women because that's kind of how my channel started off to be. And everyone's welcomed here, of course. But just a few scriptures that you can go by. It's Mark 10:42 through 46, Phillipians 2:3 through 4, James 3:16, 2 Timothy 3:2, Galatians 5:19 through 21, and Psalm 101:4. There's plenty more, but that was just a few things. And I was going to read to you the 2 Timothy. For some reason, I wrote down, read that one first. I'm not really sure why. So I'm going to read that one first. 2 Timothy 3:2. Oh, in the last days. But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, and from such people turn away. I mean, does that not sound like today? I know we've thought every generation it sounded like today, but I don't think any of it's ever sounded like this. I've never known children and grown children act like they do towards their parents nowadays. But that's the first one, and then we have James 3:16. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. Mark 10:42-46. But Jesus called them to himself and said, you know that these who are considered rulers over the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you, for whoever desires to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever you desires to be first shall be the slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. I don't know how you can deny that. If you're a Christian, our job is to serve. And I don't mean you have to go serve in the food industry or something, but especially as we're older, we're looking for something to do. I have no desire to travel all over the place. There's places I'd like to see, but right now that's not even an inkling. But I'd never have the money to do it either. 2 Timothy, did I read that one? 3:2. I think I read this one. For men will be lovers of themselves, lover of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers. I did read that. Disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy. Philippians 2:3-4. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in holiness of mind. Let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others. The woman I most admire that's still living is a lady that goes to our church who's a widow. She's probably only in her 70s now. She's been a widow probably about 9 years. And her husband was a good bit older than her, and she still wears that wedding ring. She serves the Lord in that church because she doesn't have children and she doesn't have family here anymore, other than they're living like Pennsylvania and Texas. But she has her little house. That's where my husband and son goes fishing. Her name is Joyce. And she just does so many behind the scenes things, going to see people when they're sick, going to see people and encouraging, sending cards. She's a very simple, kind, humble woman who doesn't dress up a lot. She just looks clean and nothing fancy on her. I love that lady. She sets the best. She's never had children, but she sets the best example to me of how I want to be. And I wrote this down. All these scriptures, as a collectively, show us that selfishness is a detrimental trait that is incompatible with Christian values. They urge believers to cultivate humility, love, and focus on needs of others. That's what the Christian values. We want to focus on needs of others. Take care of yourself, for sure. Definitely, because we can't do it without doing that. Pray. Since I've been home, I have been so much more in the Word. I can listen to my Christian music or listen. I like more hymn type. Tim Janis hymns is a great one. Holy, he just changed his name. Holy, I forget it. He's going to get me for that. Holy Habits TV. Holy Habits TV is a great new channel to go to and support. So encouraging. And he's going through the whole Bible, trying to read it, plus all these extra I don't know how he does it, but just wonderful, encouraging biblical deep movies and shorts and things. It would be really encouraging for you to go see him if you're still with me. I hope I haven't bored you to death. These are my beliefs. I think that's what the Bible teaches. Definitely what Jesus taught.